As we learned in our audio drama, the Jews returned to Jerusalem to rebuild the temple in 537 BCE. And by 515 BCE, it was finally completed. However, the city's walls were still left in ruins. Jehovah's time had now come to rebuild the walls, and he used the faithful man Nehemiah to take the lead in this work. This would be a massive undertaking for the Jews, and once again, there were opposers. Nehemiah told the nation of Israel that the joy of Jehovah is your stronghold. How could he encourage them to be joyful despite all the opposition? What lessons can we learn from their example? There are many, but here are three to think about as you watch. What role did prayer play in helping Nehemiah to be a courageous person for Jehovah? In addition to direct attacks, what schemes did the enemies employ to oppose the work? Despite setbacks, what was Nehemiah's main source of joy? Got it? All right then. With that in mind, please sit back and enjoy the following video presentation. The joy of Jehovah is your stronghold.
It was a privilege to have a share in the restoration of Jehovah's worship. People know we rebuilt the wall, but there is so much more to the story. Let's start at the beginning. In the 20th year of King Artaxerxes Longimanus, I was in Shushan, the palace. I was cupbearer to the king. He trusted me with his life. Although I was far from Jerusalem, I found great joy just thinking about our people there, serving Jehovah. Until one day, when I received a visit from my brother Hanani. That visit changed everything. What's going on, Hanani? How are people?
Not good.
The conditions are disgraceful.
The walls of Jerusalem are broken down, and its gates have been burned with fire.
What about the temple?
It stands, but the services are nothing but empty rituals. Most of the people and the priests ignore God's law. You have to return with us.
For days, my conscience plagued me. Would the king even allow me to go? Our people had sinned by not keeping Jehovah's commandments. But now I felt as if I were sinning by not helping them in their time of need. I begged Jehovah to grant me success.
Nehemiah, why are you so gloomy when you're not sick? This can be nothing but gloominess of heart.
Why should I not look gloomy when this city, the place where my forefathers are buried, lies in ruins, and its gates have been consumed by fire?
Nehemiah, what is this? Speak frankly, what are you seeking?
At once I prayed to the God of the heavens. If it pleases the king, and if your servant has found favor with you, send me to Judah to the city where my forefathers are buried and let me rebuild it.
You may go.
Jehovah was with us. The king gave me supplies, an army, and an appointment as governor. We were on our way to help rebuild Jerusalem's walls. I had seen a portion of the city, but it wasn't until I rose by night to inspect the walls that I saw just how badly God's city had been treated. Wait here. I couldn't believe the destruction. The time had come to reveal Jehovah's purpose for Jerusalem. I gathered the leaders.
Who is this man?
I'm told he's Nehemiah, cupbearer to the king.
What does he want from us?
Men, the holy city is completely vulnerable. Let us rebuild the walls of Jerusalem so that this disgrace will not continue.
But what will our neighbors think?
Yes, we have many powerful enemies.
Artaxerxes commissioned me to rebuild the walls in the entire city. Didn't you see the horsemen he sent? And all the timber? He gave it all. Brothers, the good hand of our God was upon me. He is the one to fear, not men. He will give us success. Not everyone was happy that we had come to do something good for the people of Israel.
So that's what this Nehemiah is up to. Gisham, do you see what I'm saying?
Without a wall, we can keep the Jews under control. If they rebuild it, the Jews won't need our land or resources.
That means he's planning to rebel.
We can't let him. We must act, and act together. Are you with me?
You have my support.
And mine, as always.
Good. We must go to Jerusalem to keep an eye on Nehemiah.
The opposers wanted to maintain control and to profit from Jehovah's people. They wasted little time trying to intimidate us.
Who are these? That's Sanballat, governor of Samaria. Next to him is Tobiah, an Ammonite official, landowner to many of our people. They all look up to him. That's Gisham. He's a very wealthy Arabian and close ally to Sanballat.
Nehemiah, are you rebelling against the king?
The king himself gave us the authority.
To rebuild the city? And the wall?
To rebuild the city and the wall is what the king expects us to do.
Why did you not consult with me? I am the governor of Samaria.
Well, yes, but the king appointed Nehemiah as governor of Judah.
So why have you not asked for our help? We worship Jehovah too. We've sacrificed to him for generations.
Along with sacrifices to all of your other gods.
The God of the heavens is the one that will grant us success. And we, his servants, we will get up and build.
No one should let his religious beliefs come before national unity.
But you have neither share, nor claim, nor memorial in Jerusalem. Sanballat, could it be you who is rebelling against the highest king of all? Despite opposition, the people worked strenuously. Their struggles went far beyond building a wall. Jehovah remembers brothers like Peleth. Seeing how he dealt with personal challenges strengthened my faith.
Peleth,
Raham,
we'll never finish this work. It's nothing but rubble.
at least we're trying to make a change.
Always an optimist. By the way, you're late on your rent. Again.
Raham, I'm sorry. I need more time. With the work on the wall...
I have enough troubles. Look, if I don't get payment by the end of the month, you and your family are out.
Is there anything we can do? Maybe I can work it off. Till we get caught up.
Seriously? You don't have time to work it off.
But maybe your daughter can help. She can come stay with us.
As a slave?
No, I'll hire her to help Azuba, to pay off your debt. Look, I'm trying to help, but you don't have many options here, my friend. Think about it.
So, Raham spoke to me today.
About what?
He wants to hire Simca to help Azuba in the house. And he says he'll care for her like his own daughter. Ima, I've known Raham and Azuba ever since I came here with Ezra. Raham helped us. Our house belongs to him.
I don't trust him. He wants our Simca to live with him?
Ima,
What about Jehovah's command? That parents raise their own children.
don't you want her to have a better life?
I cannot agree to having her live apart from us, even if we have to survive on gleanings.
How do you know we'll survive it all?
Because Jehovah always takes care of those who love and obey him.
Men like Peleth threw their burden on Jehovah and kept working. Sanballat set up camp near Jerusalem to keep an eye on our progress.
So, what is it?
My lord,
Yes?
the wall, it's up to half its height all around the city.
This has gone too far. Gisham, how long will it take to assemble an attack force?
Attack force? My lord, Sanballat, an attack on the Jews. Be an attack on the king.
What are you talking about?
He's right. Nehemiah has authorization from Artaxerxes himself.
You saw how many horsemen the king sent with him.
Yes. Would you be talking like this if those horsemen were still here?
And they can come back.
Nonsense. Never mind the horsemen. This is my province. Out here, I decide what to do. Now, we need to threaten them. Gisham, you bring Samaritan troops and come in.
They're preparing to attack us.
How do you know that?
I heard them talking.
Brothers, please. Have they attacked anyone yet?
They must have. He saw something.
Are you gonna wait until they start killing us?
Of course not. Of course not.
Hanani. Post men by families at the lowest parts of the wall, at all the exposed places.
Yes, Nehemiah.
Brothers, if we let mere threats frighten us into stopping, they will have achieved their goal.
It's no use. Don't you see? These people hate what we're doing. They hate us.
You don't have to live and work around them like we do.
Brothers, where is your faith? It is Jehovah's will that we build this wall.
If it is really Jehovah's will, then why are we getting all this opposition?
Maybe this isn't the right time.
Besides, this work is too much for us. We're worn out.
Why do we need a wall anyway?
To protect Jehovah's people. Brothers, do not be afraid of them. Remember Jehovah, who is great and awe-inspiring. And fight for your brothers, your sons and daughters, your wives and homes. So when you hear the sound of the horn, gather together to where we are. Our God will fight for us. Listen for this signal.
The threats aren't working. The next sound they hear will be our battle cry.
Wait, we already spoke about this. A direct attack would be seditious. Besides, they've armed themselves. Wait.
My lord. Kishan's right. He would never get away with this.
Don't you recall who commissioned Nehemiah? It was the king. King of Persia, let me remind you.
Nehemiah setting himself up as a king.
I recommend we turn the accusation of sedition against Nehemiah.
That's brilliant.
Yes. He will beg for our help. Let's go back to Samaria.
Hanani. You look like you've been working.
I almost smell like it too.
Yes. Yes, you do. Brothers. Brothers, we are well on our way to completing the wall. Jehovah's helping us. But we must not let our hands drop. From now on, we will all spend the night inside Jerusalem. We will take turns keeping watch. Hanani and I will give out assignments. Good work today.
everyone was working hard on the wall. But there were more issues to contend with.
My brothers, how can I help you?
Nehemiah, we with our sons and daughters are many. We need food to stay alive.
We gave our fields and vineyards and houses as security to get grain during the food shortage.
We borrowed money on our fields and our vineyards to pay the king's tribute.
And we've had to sell some of our children into slavery.
And we're powerless to stop this because our fields and vineyards belong to others.
Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I must ponder all this.
Thank you, Nehemiah.
Hanani, please tell all the nobles and deputy rulers to come to me first thing tomorrow morning. With God's help, we can make this right. Men of Judah, each of you is demanding interest from your brother. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Should you not walk in the fear of our God, so that the nations, our enemies, cannot reproach us? Let us please stop this lending on interest. Please restore to them their fields, vineyards, olive groves, and houses, and the interest.
Nehemiah, I will restore the fields this day at sunset.
We all will restore these things to our brothers.
Before Jehovah, do you swear to these promises?
We do.
May the true God shake out from his house every man who does not carry out this promise.
Amen.
Meshullam, we must inform Tobiah about this.
This will be successful. Jehovah will bless it.
Raham, I bring good news.
Is that so?
Yes. We have your rent.
Oh?
Come by any time and collect it.
But I thought we... What about Simca?
She'll be staying with us.
Well, how were you able to put it together so quickly?
Jehovah always takes care of those who love and obey him. Ever since Nehemiah got here, things have been getting better and better.
Nehemiah thinks we're still as young as when we came here with Ezra. I worked hard. But now Nehemiah treats us like it all fell out of heaven and we just had to pick it up. I worked hard for what I have, didn't I?
Yes, you worked hard.
If I get back my fields, what am I to eat? What am I to drink? What's wrong with lending on interest? You borrow, you pay with interest.
Raham, Jehovah just wants us to treat our brothers fairly.
Haven't you heard a word I said? I treat everyone fairly.
Then why are you so angry?
I'm not angry.
Why are you talking to me like this?
I just feel betrayed.
By whom?
By the people I've lent money to.
What can I do about it?
Only what a wife is supposed to do. Give me a son. If not a son, then a daughter.
I cannot give you what Jehovah does not give us.
One day,
It will be too late.
You say we write a letter to the king.
Well, let's see what the boy reports when he returns.
My lord Sanballat,
Now what?
the wall has no more gaps.
What?
How can they advance so quickly?
Also, there's a letter for Tobiah.
Nehemiah is forcing landlords to return their fields to the original owners. We're running out of time.
Enough. Tell this to Nehemiah. Come, and let us set a time to meet together in the valley plain of Ono.
They're trying to lure me away from Jerusalem and do me harm. Please tell your master, I am engaged in a great work, and I am not able to go down. Why should the work stop while I leave it to come to you? They sent me the same message several times. Each time I gave them the same response.
My lord, he has rejected your offer a fourth time.
Geshem, it's time to implement your plan. Tobiah, write this down. Among the nations it has been heard, and Geshem is also saying it, that you and the Jews are scheming to rebel. That is why you are building the wall.
Yes? Give this to Nehemiah.
Tell your master, none of the things you are saying have taken place. You are making them up out of your own imagination.
They're bluffing. They're trying to frighten us into stopping the work.
Yes, they know that the king won't change his decree. But believe me, they won't stop.
Jehovah, I pray strengthen my hands.
What can we do to stop him? We don't have much time. The wall is almost complete.
Sanballat. I think I know a way.
Shemaiah, you call for me?
Yes. Quickly! You are in great danger, and so am I, because I know about it.
Talk sense, man. What danger?
They're coming to kill you. By night. We must go into the temple and close the doors.
Shemaiah, Should a man like me run away?
You don't understand.
No. What would that do to the spirit of the entire nation?
It's the only safe place.
Besides, I'm not a priest. If I entered the temple, that would be valid reason to kill me. I will not go in.
That decision would be foolish, Nehemiah.
Oh, I see. Tobiah and Sanballat put you up to this, didn't they, you hypocrite? May Jehovah remember them and all of you false prophets who keep trying to frighten me. Come, Hanani. We have work to do. We just kept working day and night. But before we knew it, we were finishing the very last section of the wall. Jehovah helped us to achieve the impossible. We were tired, but we discovered something we had lost. Joy.
Nehemiah, the wall's complete!
That's it! In just 52 days!
My lord, it's from Shemaiah.
What does it say? The wall's complete. The doors are left to be put in. Sanballat, we must act quickly. Sanballat.
Stop it. Tobiah.
No, there's still time. Write that letter to the king.
Tobiah. Don't you see? God must be helping the Jews. It's over.
We'll lose all control over them. This isn't over.
Rebuilding the walls was only the beginning. We would definitely need God's help for what was coming next. It was now Tishrei, the start of a month-long festival. We had just rebuilt the wall of Jehovah's great city. Now, it was time to rebuild the spirituality of his chosen people. Many did not know God's law. Who better to help us gain understanding than a man who had come before me, Ezra?
The regulations and judicial decisions of Jehovah.
He and other Levites read aloud from the law of Moses. They not only read it, they explained it, putting meaning into it. As a people, we began to understand how badly we had disappointed Jehovah. by working on the Sabbath, offering lame sacrifices, and divorcing our wives to marry foreign women. It hurt our hearts, but by reading God's law, we were learning to be Jehovah's people again.
Do not mourn or weep. Now that you know what displeases God, you can do what pleases Him.
So go, eat the choice things, and drink what is sweet, and send portion to those who have nothing. And do not feel sad, for the joy of Jehovah is your stronghold.
We followed Jehovah's instructions to observe the festival of booths. We spent days rejoicing and giving thanks for Jehovah's blessing. Then on the 24th day, we assembled to read God's law, to confess our sins, and to weep over our wrongdoing. We made a binding agreement in writing. We resolved to obey Jehovah's law. But some soon forgot their promise.
Peleth.
Raham. Here's our rent payment.
Put him in a bag. Basket's hard to carry. You hear about Nehemiah's latest idea?
You mean the plan to repopulate Jerusalem?
I mean his ridiculous proposal to force families to move into the city, 1 out of 10 by lot.
Yes, I heard.
And I had to be one who was chosen. Why me? Doesn't he care what this does to landholders like me?
Oh. So when are you supposed to move?
Move? I'm not moving anywhere. I have a right to live where I choose, and so do you.
I wasn't selected.
Not yet, you mean. And when you are, I need you to join me in refusing to move.
Raham, the king sent Nehemiah here to rebuild the city. Nehemiah is the governor.
Governors come, governors go. The king is waiting for Nehemiah to return, and when he does, things will get back to normal.
Even when Nehemiah goes back, Jehovah will still be here. It is his will that Jerusalem be rebuilt. Don't you believe that?
So you would go along with Nehemiah? How can you be so ungrateful?
Raham. Your rent.
What was that all about?
Raham refuses to move into Jerusalem. And he wants us to support him.
What did you say?
I told him Nehemiah's doing Jehovah's will. Raham doesn't understand how happy he could be if he would just follow Jehovah's direction.
So, we will move if we're selected?
Yes. I'd rather be like Nehemiah than like Raham. Do you agree?
Yes.
Me too.
At the inauguration of the walls, we filled Jerusalem with songs of praise and thanksgiving to God. our great joy could be heard from far away. When I finally returned to the king, I thought about that day often. With what I know now, I wish I had never left. Jehovah raised up a messenger who chronicled the things that happened in Jerusalem during my absence. His name was Malachi. Tobiah, despite not being a Jew, still found his way into the temple. He utilized his Jewish family ties to take advantage of the other Jews.
What brings you to the temple? It's been some time. Just wanted to see you. Oh, and to bring you this small gift.
Tobiah, you are always so generous.
It's nothing really.
Is there nothing I can do for you?
Well, since you asked, there's one little thing you could do.
Tell me, what can I do for you?
Well, speaking of family, when our relatives, yours and mine, I mean, visit from Samaria, it would be so nice to have a place to eat with them. You know, right here in the temple, that is. After all, they worship Jehovah too. Often. Okay, well, sometimes.
A room in the temple? But you know I can't do that. That is, all the rooms are in use.
All of them. Aren't some of them just storerooms?
But those are provisions for the Levites.
But can't you clear one out for me? Just one. I only need one.
But what will Nehemiah say?
What difference does it make? Nehemiah's far away in Shushan.
But what if he finds out?
Who is going to tell him? Are you going to tell him?
No.
Then why worry?
So once again, our high priest is given into Tobiah.
Where should I put the screen?
There's room here. Be careful.
I've got it.
Look who's coming.
Can you hurry, please? Once they get out of our way, let's set the table here, and then the chairs kind of along the wall.
Tobiah, tell me please, where should we store provisions now?
Wherever you want. That's your problem. And move along. Like now, please. All right, so we'll unload here.
How could Eliashib let anyone, let alone a man like Tobiah, take over a room for his own use? After all that Nehemiah did to preserve the sacredness of the temple.
Most people don't give tithes anymore anyway.
If we want to eat, we need to go tend our own flocks and fields. It's of no value to serve God.
Wait, brothers. We can't let their wrong acts take away our joy.
Why not? How have we benefited from serving Jehovah?
Yes, and doesn't the scripture say, take good care of your sheep?
It also says a faithful man will receive many blessings. We must wait on Jehovah. In time, he will straighten everything out.
Malachi saw how far the people had fallen. The Levites, once the proud keepers of Jehovah's standards, now found themselves questioning the value of their own service.
Young man, why not offer a sheep? The bigger the offering, the bigger the blessings. And besides, you know what's more impressive to the neighbors, huh?
Thank you. I already have an offering.
Yes. But look, you seem like a nice man. So today for you, a special price, huh? Hardly more than you paid for these doves. Come take a look.
That sheep is blind. And look at how it walks.
Young man, that's absolutely normal for this breed.
God's law says not to offer blind, lame, or sick animals. If ever I can afford to offer a sheep, it'll be a sound one.
Don't waste your money. She's a fine sheep at a fine price.
I have to go.
Be practical. Besides, it's only a tradition.
Temple services are not the same. It's as if they don't even think about Jehovah. Zuba, what's wrong? Zuba, what happened? How's Raham? Certificate of divorce.
I tried to be a good wife, but it wasn't enough. Raham sent me away.
Don't fear, Azuba. You can live here, with us.
We can all share. Oh, God. It's all my fault.
You mustn't think that way.
But I didn't give him children.
With or without children. Marriage is sacred. Trust in Jehovah. He will never send you away. Raham, we had a visitor last night. It was your wife. Or should I say your former wife? Raham, don't you care how you've hurt your innocent mate? How can you be so hard-hearted?
Look, Moses said if you find something indecent with your wife, a man must write a certificate of divorce, hand it to her, and dismiss her. If giving me no children isn't indecent, then what is? Besides, I'm tired of living with her. I'm marrying Gisla today.
Gisla? That Moabite girl? I heard you bind yourself with an oath and a curse not to take a wife from the nations. God's law says they will turn your sons away from following me to serve other gods. Then Jehovah's anger will blaze against you.
Who are you to counsel me? Every man must find his own joy, and I intend to find mine.
Raham, only Jehovah can give true joy. Do you really think you can give yourself more joy than he can?
Jehovah, why do we treat each other so treacherously, profaning your covenant?
Malachi, say to the priests who are despising my name, a son honors a father, and a servant his master. So if I am a father, where is the honor due me? And if I am a master, where is the fear due me?
My good man. My good man, I see you have no offerings.
Why have you Levites despised Jehovah's name?
Despised it? How?
You present a blind, lame, or sick animal as a sacrifice and say that it is nothing bad? Should Jehovah accept it from your hand?
Once the meat is in our pot, no one can tell if it was lame or sound.
What about Jehovah? Can he tell the difference? One day, Jehovah will come to his temple. He will cleanse you sons of Levi by fire.
Malachi, what's gotten into you? Why should you complain when everyone else approves?
Oh, priests, if you refuse to take it to heart, says Jehovah, I will send on you the curse, and I will turn your blessings into curses. Return to me, and I will return to you, says Jehovah.
How are we supposed to return?
Will a mere human rob God? But you are robbing me, says Jehovah.
How have we robbed him?
In the tithes. And in the contributions you are robbing me. Yes, the entire nation is, says Jehovah. Bring the entire tithe into the storehouse, so there may be food in my house. And test me out, please, and see whether I will not open to you the floodgates of the heavens and pour out on you a blessing until there is nothing lacking. And there's another thing you do, so that he no longer looks favorably on anything you offer.
Why not?
Because you betray the wife of your youth, although she's your partner, your legal wife. There are some who don't do that, because they have what remains of the Spirit. So guard yourselves respecting your spirit. And do not deal treacherously with the wife of your youth. For I hate divorce, says Jehovah, the God of Israel. The lips of a priest should safeguard knowledge, and people should seek the law from his mouth. But you have made many stumble.
Jehovah's message revealed the problem was in their hearts. In spite of that, Malachi sought out those who found joy in doing what was right.
Peleth.
Malachi.
How are you? Azuba, don't despair. You will see the distinction between the righteous and the wicked, between one who serves God and one who doesn't.
You must be a prophet.
I serve Jehovah as you do, and I can tell you that when you speak with one another about Jehovah, he pays attention. A book is written before him of those who fear him and meditate on his name. May Jehovah be with you.
For years, I was away from Jerusalem, but my heart was always with my people. I requested to return to them. But what I found shocked me.
Eliashib, may you have peace.
Nehemiah, I wasn't expecting it.
Where are all the Levites and the singers?
Some of them are away right now.
Away? Why are they away?
Pedaiah's here. Pedaiah, show Governor Nehemiah around. Excuse me, please.
Of course. Pedaiah, tell me about the temple services. Do you have all the provisions that you need?
Governor Nehemiah, we have nearly no provisions at all.
How can that be?
For a long time, the priests and the Levites have not taken their duties seriously. When the people saw that, they stopped bringing in tithes. Without the tithes, most Levites and singers returned to their fields.
Why have you not returned?
My lord, I'm getting by. I've always believed that Jehovah helps those who trust in him. I know he will correct things in his time.
Did Eliashib not tell the people to bring your provisions?
In your absence, the prophet Malachi warned him and all the priests. But Eliashib, He took our storeroom, emptied it of our provisions. He gave it to Tobiah to use as a dining hall.
Pedaiah, help us get rid of these things.
What are you doing?
Elisha? What have you been doing? Why have you and the deputy rulers neglected the house of God?
Nehemiah.
You and they, please cleanse this room and replace the utensils.
Yes, my lord.
And gather all the Levites, the singers, the deputy rulers to me. I'm assigning them all back to their posts. Pedaiah, I'm placing you, Shelemiah, and Zadok in charge of the storerooms. Hanan will be your assistant. It's your responsibility to distribute provisions to your brothers.
Nehemiah. Wait a second. Let me explain this.
I will tell all Judah to bring in the tenth of the grain, the new wine, and the oil.
I can explain this. No, wait.
Do remember me, oh my God. Do not wipe out my acts of loyal love for the house of my God. Not only had they neglected Jehovah's house, some of the Jews continued to conduct business on the Sabbath, a day Jehovah had declared as holy.
What are you selling today?
Only the best quality fish from Tyre.
What are you doing? Do you not care that this is the Sabbath?
Nehemiah.
What is this evil thing you're doing? That's why God brought disaster on this city.
People think it's acceptable now.
What does Jehovah think?
I stopped the buying and selling and ordered the doors closed so as to keep the Sabbath day holy. But the following week, the merchants tried again.
What's the meaning of this? I had to sleep on the ground last night.
You know God's law. No work, no business on the Sabbath. Go! You and all the Levites guard the gates and keep the Sabbath holy. Don't let anyone in.
This too, remember to my credit, oh my God, and show me pity according to your abundant loyal love. There was another thing that I had to do.
Come on. Come back here. You have to listen to me. I'm your father.
What's wrong with your children?
They don't like coming to the temple.
Oh, sweetie. Why don't you like it?
Come back here now. I'm sorry, my lord. My wife speaks very little Hebrew.
Did you not swear never to marry someone who doesn't serve Jehovah?
Nehemiah, nobody cares.
Did you not?
Yes.
Then why have you ignored the command of Jehovah and your own oath?
Let me go.
No wonder your children don't love Jehovah. Did you imagine that you could succeed without Jehovah's blessing?
I prayed for Jehovah's blessing.
Did you? But you didn't obey him. Raham, how can Jehovah bless something that is against his will?
Why was I surprised? The people were just following the bad example of those taking the lead.
Eliashib's grandson married a Horonite, the daughter of Sanballat.
Have you no respect for God's law? You should not give your daughters to their sons, nor accept any of their daughters for your sons, or yourselves. Was it not because of these that King Solomon sinned?
Grandfather, say something.
Be still, my son.
Is it not something unheard of for you to commit this great evil by marrying foreign women? You have defiled the priesthood. You may not serve as a priest, nor remain in Jerusalem.
Fine. I'll go to Samaria. They're more tolerant there.
But he's my grandson.
Then why did you allow him to disregard Jehovah's laws? You know our temple services are what preserves our relationship with God. But as soon as I left, all of you let it fall apart.
It took some time, but true worship was restored. When I look back on all that Jehovah enabled us to do, despite the opposition we faced,
I recommend we turn the accusation of sedition against Nehemiah.
The next sound they hear will be our battle cry.
Are you gonna wait until they start killing us?
the bad influences we avoided.
I have a right to live where I choose, and so do you. I need you to join me in refusing to move.
Don't waste your money. Be practical. Besides, it's only a tradition.
If we want to eat, we need to go tend our own flocks and fields. It's of no value to serve God.
The sleepless nights.
We must go to Jerusalem to keep an eye on Nehemiah.
Don't you see? These people hate what we're doing. They hate us.
You don't have to live and work around them like we do.
The sweat and toil.
Besides, this work is too much for us. We're worn out.
Why do we need a wall anyway?
I just remember the joy we felt. Because we were serving Jehovah the right way. We thought we were just working on a wall. But Jehovah was rebuilding our faith. I'll never forget how Jehovah brought us together to accomplish His will. He taught us to rely on Him. And He strengthened us.
Eat the choice things, and drink what is sweet, and send portions to those who have nothing. And do not feel sad, for the joy of Jehovah is your stronghold.
Do remember me favorably, oh my God.
Nehemiah was a man of courage. He could have stayed in the luxurious palace of Shushan and served Jehovah from there, but he didn't. When a need arose, he was ready to make the long journey to Jerusalem to support his brothers. But it wouldn't be easy. First, he had to ask the king of Persia to let him go. What helped Nehemiah to be a courageous person for Jehovah? Did he rely on his personality or his good record with the king? Let's watch this part again.
The place where my forefathers are buried lies in ruins, and its gates have been consumed by fire.
Nehemiah, what is this? Speak frankly, what are you seeking?
At once I prayed to the God of the heavens.
If it pleases the king, and if your servant has found favor with you, send me to Judah, to the city where my forefathers are buried and let me rebuild it.
You may go. Jehovah was with us.
Nehemiah immediately and humbly prayed to Jehovah, the true source of courage. In fact, he prayed repeatedly throughout his assignment, and Jehovah blessed his efforts. So, lesson number 1 for us today. When times are hard, we may be quick to lean on Jehovah. But what if things are going well? Are we still reliant on Jehovah? Or might we find ourselves becoming complacent, perhaps even saying, "Things are good in my life now. I know there's a need to get to work, but I've been serving Jehovah for many years now. I've done my part. Let someone else do it." Will Jehovah bless such an attitude? Wouldn't it be better to turn to Jehovah in prayer, asking Him to give you the courage and joy to continue to reach out in your service to Him? You just might be surprised at the doors Jehovah opens for you. Now, once Nehemiah arrived in Jerusalem, he didn't just give orders, did he? The Bible says that he daily worked alongside his fellow Israelites from the break of dawn until the stars came out. In a similar way, when we show a self-sacrificing spirit, Jehovah will give us the energy needed to carry out the task at hand. The Israelites completed the wall building project in just 52 days. What an amazing feat, especially in the face of continual opposition. At first it came in the form of mocking. Then the opposers threatened to attack. There were Samaritans in the north, Ammonites in the east, Arabs in the south, and Ashdodites in the west. Jerusalem was surrounded by enemies. It could have been easy to feel trapped and to give in to fear. What did Nehemiah do? Well, what was his pattern? In his own words, he says, "We prayed to our God." Then Nehemiah strengthened the people by telling them, "Do not be afraid of them. Remember Jehovah, who is great and awe-inspiring." And so they kept building. After Nehemiah's enemies realized that their open threats had failed, did they give up? No. They now turned to other forms of opposition. In fact, they tried 3 different schemes to sidetrack Nehemiah from the work. Did you notice them? Let's watch the video again. They asked to meet Nehemiah halfway.
Tell this to Nehemiah. Come, and let us set a time to meet together in the valley plain of Ono.
They're trying to lure me away from Jerusalem and do me harm.
They spread false rumors.
Geshem, it's time to implement your plan. Tobiah, write this down. Among the nations it has been heard, and Geshem is also saying it, that you and the Jews are scheming to rebel. That is why you are building the wall.
And they used a traitor to try and trick Nehemiah.
They're coming to kill you. By night, we must go into the temple and close the doors.
Shemaiah, should a man like me run away?
You don't understand.
No. What would that do to the spirit of the entire nation?
It's the only safe place.
Besides, I'm not a priest. If I entered the temple, that would be valid reason to kill me. I will not go in.
That decision would be foolish, Nehemiah.
Oh, I see. Tobiah and Sanballat put you up to this
didn't they, you hypocrite? May Jehovah remember them and all of you false prophets who keep trying to frighten me. Come, Hanani. We have work to do.
3 schemes, 3 failures. So lesson number 2. Like Nehemiah, we might encounter opposers who scheme to bring our loyal service to a halt. Some may invite us to meet them halfway, so to speak. They may try to convince us that if we serve Jehovah with just a little less zeal, we could pursue worldly goals at the same time. However, because God's kingdom comes first in our lives, we can be like Nehemiah and refuse to compromise. We know where this world's headed. Opposers also spread false accusations against us. In some lands, we're accused of posing a threat to the state. Some accusations have been successfully rebutted in court. But whatever the outcome, we're confident that Jehovah will direct matters according to His will. Opposition may also come from those who pretend to serve Jehovah. Just as a fellow Jew tried to get Nehemiah to break God's law to save his life, so former witnesses may try to get us to compromise in one way or another. However, we reject apostates because we know that our lives are saved, not by breaking God's laws, but by keeping them. Each time, Nehemiah refused to fall into their trap. Why? Because he had a brilliant mind? No. It was because he relied on Jehovah, and Jehovah gave him the insight needed to see through their deceptions. After the wall was built, Nehemiah left Jerusalem for a while. But what did he find on his return? Instead of coming back to find true worship thriving, he found it barely surviving. All the work that he had done to help the people to trust in Jehovah. How do you think he felt? He could have said, "That's it. I'm out. Let someone else clean this up," and walked away. But did he? Let's watch again.
Why have you and the deputy rulers neglected the house of God? You and they, please cleanse this room. You know God's law. No work, no business on the Sabbath. Go! Did you not swear never to marry someone who doesn't serve Jehovah? Then why have you ignored the command of Jehovah and your own oath?
Also, Eliashib's grandson married a Horonite, the daughter of Sanballat.
You should not give your daughters to their sons, nor accept any of their daughters for your sons. You have defiled the priesthood. You may not serve as a priest, nor remain in Jerusalem.
It took some time, but true worship was restored.
Nehemiah didn't walk away, did he? No, he persevered in his assignment. Why? Because he held on to his joy. You see, his main source of joy came not from his accomplishments, not from the security of walls, nor even from what others were doing. From where does true joy come? Nehemiah himself told us, "The joy of Jehovah is your stronghold." So here's lesson number 3 for us. Despite challenges and setbacks, we can be joyful because true joy comes from a good relationship with Jehovah. Nehemiah was a man like you and me. Remember, he didn't have Jehovah's power displayed supernaturally to him like Moses and Joshua did. But what did he have? He had prayer, he had faith, and he had trust. Those were his tools. And there's no doubt that Jehovah was active on behalf of Nehemiah, guiding and blessing his efforts. we have those same tools today. Pray to Jehovah, put faith in him, and trust that he will bless your self-sacrificing efforts. Just as Jehovah gave Nehemiah the courage, the energy, the insight, and the perseverance to carry out his assignment, he'll do the same for you.